You're a worthy opponent, but I have one more dragon in my arsenal. Let's go, apple pie! Wait, that's a dragon? You're telling me that little apple pie there is more dragon-like than my Charizard? Yeah? F this. What is going on, guys? This is Dobbs here, bringing you another Pokemon video. And in this video, I'm going to go over the origin of every Generation 8 Pokemon out there. But before we start, I just want to say that we're doing a Pokemon Sword Let's Play on my Dobbs gaming channel. And we just hit 100,000 subscribers over there and got verified, so it's super exciting right now. And also, big shout out to the Dobbs Nation on the Discord server for helping me out with this video. Be sure to join the Discord by using the link down below in the description. I plan on battling people on there for videos on Dobbs Gaming, so that'll be a lot of fun to do. And yeah, with that said, without further ado, let's get started. The origins. Alright, here we go, the origin of every Gen 8 Pokemon that we know of. Starting with Grookey and Thwackey, these two Pokemon are most likely based on the Ecuadorian squirrel monkey, which is a monkey that resides in the Brazilian Amazon. And you know, with Amazons, there's a ton of trees everywhere, so there's a lot of sticks to pick up and stuff. With Rillaboom, he's obviously based on a gorilla, but I also think he's based on the Cadbury Dairy Milk advertisement that had a gorilla playing the drums. Yeah, they literally had an advertisement for chocolate in the UK with a gorilla drumming to the song In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. Pretty random, but there could be some kind of relationship with Rillaboom, you never know. For Scorbunny, Raboot, and Cinderace, these three Pokemon are probably based on soccer, because score in Scorbunny means to score a point, boot meaning your foot that you hit the ball with, and ace meaning that you excel in a particular sport, maybe like soccer. And just by looking at Raboot, it looks like he's wearing a turtleneck hoodie, and that's very popular for cold events in soccer. Oh, and let's not forget, these three Pokemon are based on the Chinese calendar because every fire-type starter since Gen 1 has been based on that too. And obviously they're based on a rabbit. I don't think I need to point that out though. For Sobble, Drizzile, and Inteleon, these three Pokemon are based on a chameleon and reptile. And I have a strong feeling that Inteleon is based on the James Bond in the UK because it just looks like a spy with this, this gun thing. And the Intel and Inteleon is probably based on intelligence, which spies normally try to get when they're doing a case. Sobble could represent the person who's kidnapped, Drizzile could be the Russian spy that has no emotions because just look at his face, and Inteleon could be James Bond because James Bond is huge in the UK, it wouldn't surprise me. For Squavit and Greedent, these two Pokemon are based on the red squirrel, which are the only native squirrels to the UK. And these two Pokemon are also based on one of the 7 deadly sins, which is greed, because they are crazy for their berries, so don't expect them to share at any time. For Rookidee, Corvisquire, and Corviknight, these three Pokemon are based on the Corvidae and Squire birds. But more importantly, these three Pokemon are based on the rank system for a Knight and a Monarch. Rookie being a noob, Squire being a person of honor that lives in a rural area, and a Knight who serves as sovereign as a mountain soldier in armor. For Blipbug and Dottler, these Pokemon are based on a caterpillar and a cocoon, and that's basically it. I'm not really sure which caterpillar is based on, but I'm sure it's one of the billions that exist. For Orbeetle, this Pokemon is based on the 7-spot Ladybird Beetlebug, which is the most prominent ladybug in the UK. Also is based on UFOs because the orbital in its name means the orbit, and the Gigantamax form just gives it away. For Nickit and Thievul, these two Pokemon are based on the iconic Red Fox in the UK. And believe it or not, the Red Fox is listed in the World 100 Worst Invasive Species, which might explain the Nickit and Thieve terms in their names. They like to invade other species' areas and steal their stuff. It's also believed that Nickit and Thievul are based on Guy Fawkes, which was an English Catholic rebel of some sort. You'll probably recognize him by this mask, and I see some resemblance with Thievul. For Gossifleur and Eldegoss, these Pokemon are based on the Gossiflum, the cotton plant genus, which basically means that it's the parent plant of all cotton plant-based plants. And that's all I got. It's basically a cotton Pokemon that's a plant. Nothing really much else is going on for this Pokemon. For Wooloo and Dubwool, these two Pokemon are based, well, on sheep. But it makes sense that they're in Sword and Shield because the world population for sheep is about 1 billion and the EU flock has about 25% of it. Not to mention that they are very prominent in the UK as well. Also, it's thought that these Pokemon are based on a soccer and a football, but I'm not sure if I see the football aspect to Double. For Trutzil and Dreadnought, these Pokemon are based on the alligator snapping turtle, which is one of the heaviest freshwater turtles in the world. And I have a feeling that this turtle might be related to the unnamed turtle beta Pokemon that we saw about 20 years ago, because it looks strikingly similar to Dreadnought, more similar than Tortuga. So Dreadnought might be the reincarnation of this unnamed beta Pokemon. For Yamper and Boltund, these Pokemon are based on the Welsh Corgi and the Greyhound. And if you didn't know, the Greyhound is the fastest dog breed in the world, which explains why Boltund is super fast and electric type. For Roly-Poly, Carkol, and Colossal, these Pokemon are based on coal and coal mines. For Roly-Poly, it's more of a compound of a Roly-Poly bug and a one-wheeled minecart. For Carkol, it's more of a compound for a car and a four-wheeled minecart. And as for Colossal, it's a play on the word colossal, but it's spelled with coal in it. And I'm not really sure what it's based on. It's probably like a dinosaur of something. But yeah, if you didn't know, the UK is a large distributor of natural gases, so it would make a lot of sense that there are a lot of coal mines in the Galar region. For Applin and Flapple, these Pokemon are based on the classic worm in an apple, and that's basically it. For Appletun, this Pokemon is based on an apple pie. Yeah, these three Pokemon are freaking awesome, but their origins are pretty lame. For Silcobra and Sandaconda, these Pokemon are based on snakes. Silcobra is a compound of silicone, which is the basic element that resides in sand, and cobra. And Sandaconda is, obviously based on an anaconda and sand. For Cramorant is based on a cormorant, which is a bird that dives into the water and catches fish. This is literally not even a Pokemon, it's just an animal that was placed in a Pokemon game. It's literally the same thing. For Arrokuda and Barraskewda, these Pokemon are based on Barracudas. For Arrokuda, it resembles an arrow, like a bow and arrow. And when Cramorant dives into the water and comes out with an Arrokuda, he shoots it out like a bow and arrow. And as for Barraskewda, it's based on a skewer, like, you put food on a stick and eat it. For Toxel, I'm not really sure what this Pokemon is based on. It could be like a dinosaur or a Neopets, I'm not really sure. But for Toxtricity, this Pokemon is based on an electric guitar. Its low-key form being the bass and its ant form being the lead guitar. And I have a strong feeling that this Pokemon is connected with the Gen 5 Poison-type gym leader, Roxy, who happens to be a bassist for a Poison-type band. Honestly, this Pokemon would be perfect for Roxy. I'm sure in a Gen 5 remake, she would have Toxtricity. For Sizzlipede and Citruscorch, these Pokemon are based, on a centipede. And obviously Sizzle and Scorch in their names relate to fire. For Clobbopus and Grapploct, these Pokemon are based on octopi and types of fighters. Clobbopus resembling a boxer, while Grapploct resembling a Jujutsu fighter. For Sinistea and Poltegeist, these Pokemon are based, on ghosts that move things and haunt things. And obviously the T in their names are a reference to tea in the UK, because British people are crazy for tea. And I still don't know why. Why is tea such a huge deal in the UK? It's just weird to me. For Hatenna, Hatrim, and Hatrine, these Pokemon are based on witches, which is mostly given away by their Pokedex entries. For Impidimp, Morgrem, and Grimmsnarl, these Pokemon are based on the rankings of a demon, Imp being the lowest form because it's just a little mischievous little thing. And also these Pokemon may be based on fairy tales, which may explain why the Gigantamax form for Grimmsnarl looks like a beanstalk, like Jack and the Beanstalk, which could explain why they are part fairy type as well. For the gallery and forums of Zigzagoon, Lanoon, and Obstagoon, these Pokemon are based on the band Kiss. And with Obstagoon, he is based on the bassist Gene Simmons, which is pretty random but pretty cool, I guess. For the gallery and form of Meowth and Berserker, these Pokemon are based on the European Wildcat. But more interestingly, these Pokemon are also based on Vikings because their heads look like Viking helmets. It wouldn't surprise me one bit in the Pokemon anime there'll be a group of Berserkers following Ash around and invading each town that he goes to. Look back on this video and let me know if it happened because I haven't watched the anime since Max and May were in it and that was like 15 years ago. For the Galarian form of Corsola and Cursula, these Pokemon are based on coral bleaching, which is a phenomenon that happens when air pollution rises and the new level of CO2 causes ocean acidification. Yeah, it's pretty grim. Corsola's had it pretty rough for these past few generations, the last one having Toxapex trying to eat it and all. For Galarian Farfetch and Surfetch, these Pokemon are based on royal guards that defend their sovereign places. Pretty straight to the point and simple. For the Galarian form of Mr. Mime and Mr. Rhyme, these Pokemon are based on the stereotypical Briton that you see from the early 1800s. Also, Mr. Rhyme might be a reference to Charlie Chaplin because he was a British comic actor from the same era. For the Galarian form of Yamask and Ruddigrast, these Pokemon are probably based on the ancient paintings from the Paleolithic era, which as you probably know as the Old Stone Age. Also, these symbols might be a reference to the old Viking runes, which was the alphabet for Germanic languages. And it wouldn't surprise me if that was the origin, because Yamask are humans that died and became Pokemon, so maybe these were like old Vikings that died in battle. For the Galarian forms of Ponyta and Rapidash, it's based on a unicorn. Yeah. For the Galarian forms of Darumaka and Darmanitan, it's probably based on the abominable snowman. Double yeah! For Galarian Weezing, it's probably based on the power plants of the UK and the stereotypical British man. Triple yeah! For Galarian Stunfisk, it's probably based on a bear trap because of the ground and steel typing, and also just straight up looks like a bear trap, and I love it. For Milcery and Alcremie, these Pokemon are based on milk and sorcery. Also, these Pokemon might have a connection with the Whip Dream item from Generation 6. For Phalanx, this one was my favorite by the way. This Pokemon is obviously based on the Stinging Caterpillar, but more importantly, it's based on Spartans. Like from the 300 movie, this is Sparta! And also, its signature move, No Retreat, just gives it away. It's so thematic of the Spartans, and I love it. For Pincurchin, this Pokemon is based on a sea urchin, and that's it. For Snom, it's based on a jewel caterpillar, and that's also it. For Frostmoth, this Pokemon is based on the Peppermoth evolution from the Industrial Revolution. Basically, the Industrial Revolution caused a lot of air pollution, which caused the white moth population to decrease while the black moth population increased. And then after the Big Bang of ideas, the white moth population came back to normal due to there not being as much air pollution. But this is just a theory to Darwin's theory of evolution, and it's highly debated. For Stonejourner, this Pokemon is based on the Stonehenge in England, which is one of the 7 wonders of the world, meaning that no one really knows how it got there and how it got there. For Elskew, it's a penguin with an ice cube on its head. But I gotta admit, it has a pretty cool ability, so I guess that's where it makes up for its pretty simple origin. For Indeedee, this Pokemon is probably based on butlers and maids. And as for its name, it's probably the play on the word indeed. Like, indeed, sir. For Marpeco, this Pokemon is based on a guinea pig, and obviously his hangry form is a combination of hungry and angry. For Cufant and Copperyaw, these Pokemon are based on elephants, and also the CU in Cufant could be the atomic symbol for copper, which may explain the steel typing and why copper is in Copperyaw's name. For the fossil Pokemon, these Pokemon are definitely based on prehistoric dinosaurs, and the reason why they look so off is because the UK is the birthplace of modern paleontology. And of course, in the beginning of a new science, there's going to be a lot of errors, which makes a lot of sense on why they look so weird. For Duraludon, this Pokemon is based on skyscrapers, more specifically the Dancing Dragon skyscraper in South Korea, which may explain why Duraludon is part dragon type. It could also be based on Mechagodzilla, but I don't know. For Dreepy, Dracloak, and Dragapult, these Pokemon are probably based on Diplocoluses, which is a very cute looking ancient fish. Also, the final evolution, Dragapult, is definitely based on a stealth bomber, which is an American aircraft that can basically sneak in your room and hit you in the face without you knowing. For Zacian and Zamazenta, these Pokemon are probably based on the legendary sword that was placed in stone by Merlin, which of whom wanted to assure that a true king would rule Britain by pulling out the sword. And if you didn't know, it was later pulled by King Arthur, and I have a feeling that the statue in the hotel in Monostroke is in fact based on King Arthur. Also, the shield aspect is the wall that resides behind the sword in stone. And lastly, for Eternatus, this Pokemon is based on the word eternal and Eternatus, which is the Latin word for immortalize. Also, it's probably based on the Greek god Thanatos, which of whom is the personification of death. And if you didn't know, this is the same god that Thanos from Marvel is based on too. And I'm not gonna lie, this Pokemon is looking like one of the strongest legendary Pokemon we've ever seen. And yeah, there you go, the origin of every single Gen 8 Pokemon from Pokemon Sword and Shield. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave a like if you did because I appreciate it a ton. Also, if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe because I upload pretty frequently now, being a full-time YouTuber and all. And don't forget to ring that bell because that notifies you even more. And if you want to be even more awesome, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and even on the Amino app because all those platforms are super cool. And also, I'm doing an entire Pokemon Sword Let's Play on my Dobbs gaming channel, and you should definitely check it out because it's an awesome game and I would love to experience it with you guys. And finally, for the question of the day, what was your favorite Pokemon origin? Be sure to let me know down below in the comments because I'm going to read those comments and reply to them and be like, whoa, that's crazy. And yeah, that's all for this video, and I will see you guys next time. See ya!